Okay, Capture H is enabled, and here we go with the first. Let me put the title as well. This is a best of 2, and it is AOE Norway. AOE Norway League, where Meisel has somehow snuck in as a German, but he claims to have Norwegian heritage, Norwegian grandfather or something, so we'll let him pass. So, KenE5000 versus Kokesjokolade, exclamation mark, rank and the player's nickname in chat to see their elos, but it should be around 1000, 1100, 1v1 elo. Lowest of the 3 divisions here. Not necessarily the lowest rated players in that division. We have Chinese versus Bulgarians here. So, infantry civilization versus Chinese that are very versatile, could both go cavalry and archers and have lots of options. Cheaper technologies make for easier switches to different kinds of things as well. But looking at the Chinese base here, it's almost begging to just drush fast cattle or something. Maybe not drush with Chinese because you start with less wood and food, but I mean, honestly, you could probably, if you want to go full turtle mode here, you could wall off and get away with a straight fast castle age here, possibly. I'm not saying they should. I hate that kind of playstyles. That's what Arena's made for, but it's an option when you have wood lines and resources like this, albeit with the gold kind of 2 golds to the same side here is not ideal. But that main gold is going to last you a while anyway if you wall all the way towards the edge here and towards the front and whatnot. So KenE5000 here with the Chinese. I think he's gonna get idled very soon here because it's gonna take a little bit of time for that boar food income to settle. He is already made bloom, as you always do at the very start with the Chinese. 31 seconds ILTC so far, but that's going to kick up a bit unless KenE5000 force drops off some foods here and gets going. There we go. Yeah, okay, it's not that bad. 44 seconds idle TC time, it's still going to keep a slight little bit of that head start to get with Chinese, with Loom instantly, and starting with 3 extra villagers, of course. But let's see for Kokesjokolade's side, slightly more open map. This area here is going to be tougher to wall, but you could use the natural resources here as part of your foundation and still do some sort of a compact wall if you want your base safe of, for example, scouts. Now for Bulgarians, you get men-at-arms instantly once you reach the next age, the feudal age, and the swords line instant upgrades all the way through to the imperial age, but they stop at 200 swordsmen. You don't get champion as Bulgarians, but you get to compensate for that with the Bagains, the unique technology giving you some extra melee armor. And yeah, looking at the golds here, front main gold, not ideal when the base is so exposed. There's some hunt to the side, and again, both the secondary golds at the same spot near a hill. That's bad for both players here. Maybe especially for Ken, for Kokesjokolade, the red player, if Ken decides to go for the archers here. Because that could essentially mean that these resources could get easily denied. There's still a main goal, though, that you could place a preempted tower and keep it safe. Wouldn't be too surprised to see the Bulgarians going for a men-at-arms opening here, since you get them instantly. It's huge power spike to have the early game, especially against Chinese, who are already vulnerable to a rush, a Dark Age rush. So if you say you go up at 20 population with Bulgarians and make 3 militia and move forward, you'll have men-at-arms very early as compared to other civilizations. Thanks for the feedback, Purge Finn. I appreciate that. And what I'd like to do is also have a look at the scouting. We see Ken has found the enemy base, managed to dodge to some extent the enemy TC fire. Scout slightly harmed, as we see the red player also moving towards the enemy side to find a house and confirm that this is indeed Ken's location. Ken going to gold, going to feudal age as well. At 23 pop here. This could be a straight archers play. Hei, Jan. Det her nei, altså 1000 til 1100 en ved en ilo. Det Egentlig, altså per definisjon, gjennomsnitts-eloen, men sammenlignet med proffene så er det ganske lågt nivå, hvis du skjønner. Det er sånn Jan here is asking, is this high level, or is this kind of a high level? And I'd say it's the average, per definition, of elos, since you start out at 1000 and then progress up, or digress down, digress. So, but many players would consider this elo range low elo rather than mid or high elo. Is this a high elo in Norway? Still below average, maybe, I would say, because we actually have many good players in Norway. Maybe I need to come back then. Yeah, I think you absolutely should, Jan. Exclamation mark AOE Norge, and you'll find the Discord. And you can get in touch with a lot of us. We also have a Facebook group. Okay, so I take back the fact that KenE5000 might have been going the straight archers here. It's actually opening with the men-at-arms, which I find a decent call against the Bulgarians. Ken can now pull his militia back and will have men-at-arms just 10-11 seconds after his counterpart here. Did Kokesjokolade already lose one? No, the third one is in queue, so it should be on the way shortly. And for now, just dodging the others. Ken is chasing, so this is actually good for the red player here, because Ken can't really engage on his opponent's side. Yes, Kokesjokolade, red player, will lose his scout here, but in return, he's buying lots of time to complete those walls at home, if he tasks a builder to complete them, that is. So, so interesting to see them on the minimap, these walls, and Kokesjokolade may be a bit preoccupied with the forward, in deciding to focus on the army aggression instead of walling at home. It makes sense. There's lots of things to consider. I love how Kokesjokolade makes that use of that excess wood as well. I mean, if you're floating resources, spend them. If you're floating wood, you could drop farms, because then you'll have more food for your transition to the next age, the cast age, which requires 200 gold and 800 food. Or you can, of course, spend it on production buildings and make a different follow-up. So we have the red player, Kokesjokolade, is going to extend the aggression. Did lose the men-at-arms forward. No, didn't actually. Did clean up Ken's men-at-arms here. How did that happen? Wow, good job, Red. And we'll be following up with some more feudal age aggression here, possibly with some scouts. Also, there's one archer here from Ken, doesn't have fletching, so even villagers could try and fight this one until Ken sends more forward, of course. But this should be possibly enough time for Red to finish the tower here, and then it's a lot more difficult for the archers to engage on the primary goal of Ken here. Still not completing the walls though, which is kind of fascinating, but men-at-arms aggression still at large here and causing some idle time on Ken's side here. They're both with fairly similar idle TC time and compare, but Ken has less idle eco time and has been bringing in resources more consistently, I'd say, throughout this time. Just a few archers. Ken has got fletching in now as well. That is cheaper for Chinese because they didn't get a discount on their technologies throughout each age. I think the ratio is 10, 15, and 20%, if not 10, 30, and 30, 10, 20, and 30%. I don't remember that just right off the bat. Kokesjokolade using some scouts here, but when outnumbered by archers, that should be an easier fight for the archers. I thought Ken's men-at-arms had died, but they are in fact have in fact moved forward to hit Kokesjokolade's eco instead. Interesting approach to walling there. Walling out his own villager, but he saves the man's life by the looks of it, so mission accomplished for that guy. 2 villagers killed by KenE5000 here, who also... Let's see, how does he have that big of an eco lead here? It's partly because of idle TC time, I'd say. Yeah, he's killed 3 villagers, but Kokesjokolade is losing villagers. He lost one to Wolf as well, I think, because now it says 5 villagers dead for Kokesjokolade here. So the wildlife hasn't been kind on the red player. Litt skill defense. Ja, det er det. Delt inn i divisjoner på bakgrunn av nivå, men kanskje 200-300 ILO-poeng mellom den beste og den dårligste i tredje divisjon. Og samme i divisjonene over. Yeah, the Archers Minotaurs doing work here. Looks like Ken is in a good spot here, but the Bulgarians player hasn't given in here. Keeps making scouts. I think that's not the right call here, but also a good call considering that Kokesjokolade is missing wood due to being taken off wood here. So it's making the army that he can. That is scouts at this point to somehow try and defend against the Archers here. In the meantime, though, we have KenE5000 almost fully walled at home, walling in a way to secure the golds as well, and going up to the cast stage. So Kokesjokolade taps out, hopefully called the GG, and we're going to give the 1-0 to KenE5000 here. So I'm going to have a quick look at the stats, and then we'll pull up the game 2. This is a 2-game format, just like Farmman's AOE 2 leagues, if you've, some of you are probably part of that. Of the viewers of Sean, maybe, or know about it. So if you win both games, you get 3 points. If it's a tie, 1-1, 1 point per each player. If you lose both, obviously 0 points. Yeah, much more resources overall for KenE5000. I'll admit, I don't know whose home map this was. Could have been Ken, could have been Kokesjokolade. Let's bring up the next map and see what that brings us. Fairly loose rules on map picking as well. I said you're allowed to pick any home map from the whole standard map folder of DE. So now we're seeing, let's see, once the capture H gets ready here, we're seeing Yucatan. Nice. Okay. So we're going to see a different map now. It is much easier to wall in Arabia, and food is in abundance. So I don't know whose player this home map is. I forgot to tell the players that when they submit games, they should specify whose home map was played here and there. But it doesn't matter too much. It's only 2 games, so home map isn't as significant as in the 3-game set to know the order of it. So the map is Yucatan. As you can see, there's lots of resources floating. You're allowed to... It's hidden save free pick, but you could also reuse. But we're seeing 2 new saves here, Magyars versus Celts. Ah, Ken, thanks, man. Yucatan was your home map. I see. So Kokesjokolade lost their home map, and now we're on to Ken's home map here. So let's have a look at the scouting here. Good opening scouting from both players, I'd say, to locate their primary food sources. I think Ken is taking this woodline because it's simply closer to the town center. And when you have a shorter walking distance, your villagers get to work earlier as well. Personally, I'd prefer taking the back woodline because it's chunkier and it's also more safe from early aggression. But at some point, you'll be placing a second lumber camp anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much in this stage. The most important thing is to get that wood economy running. As for Kokesjokolade, we have some nice chunky woodlines here. This pond here makes walling a bit awkward, but not at all impossible. You could just wall on the shoreline instead. But you might find yourself a little bit vulnerable to especially archers, maybe castle edge crossbows, depending on how you wall this. But yeah, very small sections here to secure both main gold and back gold here for Kokesjokolade. That looks like a nice map for the Magyars here after all. Place the houses fairly large, far out here as well, so that the woodlands aren't easily ranged by ranged options. Maybe a tower here could reach this woodline, but who's to stop the red player from relocating to this back woodline or this back woodline? So probably no merit in tower rushing here. Okay, so what do Celts do? I mean, most players know the name Huang. He loves his Night Monk Siege all in with Celts, adding some different kinds of siege, both Scorpions and Mangonel. Celts siege weapons fire 15% faster. That's why they're so deadly especially in the early cast stage, before the enemy has established their own economy and can counterattack or defend with a castle or whatnot. So it's not necessarily KenE5000's plan here. We saw him opening men-at-arms in the previous game, and that's another strong play for the Celts, because from the feudal age onwards, Celts infantry start moving 15% faster. So they have a pretty decent men-at-arms opening because of that. Ooh, Kokesjokolade is forward, and as far as I remember from my own rules, the only thing not allowed to lame is the boar, so Kokesjokolade could actually pull these geese back to home base, or turkey, is it? What is it? Yeah, it's turkey. Pull the turkeys back home to home base and benefit for those. But it's not like you're going to lack food on your Catan anyway, with double deer patches, 3 boars, and also, I believe, double berries. Food is just in abundance here, and it's kind of inviting aggressive either infantry or knights play rather than siege. But I mean, it's not like it's lacking wood here either. But the only thing that's actually kind of low here on Yucatan is golds and stones. There are only 2 neutral golds. And sometimes they aren't even that easy to spot. They're both on the same side here, not ideal. And this one is probably never going to be scouted by the players unless they are auto-scouting and covering large bits of the map. So Ken has found enemy base, he's found a potential point of entry here. And again, careful. Well, scratch that, I was going to say, careful not to run into TC fire. It takes a few hits there, but it's pretty fine. Yeah, it's first time I'm seeing 1v1 Yucatan as well. Look at that one. It's different, yeah. The team version tends to have more crossings and rivers and stuff, or shallows. Oh, ouch. Deleting the... it was the wrong building, was it? I think there was a mill on the gold. Maybe some tournament jitters for the red player here. Bring in the board, that's nice, but are there enough villagers to take care of it? Yeah, I think that's fine. Should be alright here. First boar coming in at the 9th minute, but again, Yucatan isn't exactly lacking in food, so this shouldn't be an issue. I think Kokesjokolade is considering the fast castle age approach here, because there's 3 or 4 on gold, there's heavy investment on food, and just about enough on wood to afford the buildings. We'll still need to wall off here, whereas KenE5000 is going for the infantry opening again. This has to be the men-at-arms. It's 23 pop, so 1 more than the conventional men-at-arms build order, but that doesn't matter too much here. It's only going to grant you an even better economy moving into the feudal age. So 3 militia at least in the making here, 2 on gold, quite common for the men-at-arms approach, which will likely be followed up by archers like the previous game. But this time around the men-at-arms might not work as well. Kokesjokolade walling out one of their own villagers here, realizing that and delete the foundation and pull it back. So this time, unless there's a hole somewhere, KenE5000's initial men-at-arms won't be doing much. Kokesjokolade going up at 25 pop here. It might or might not be enough to go straight fast castle here. I see some hunt being milled here. Yeah, fast castle knights might be the plan here. 2 more villagers in queue, no farms, but no need for that yet, obviously. Another boar that could be eaten as well. I think wall fast castle is the better play here, except the walls ideally would be further out, but you can extend those later, as long as you get to the castle age first and make use of that that lead that you get by being first to the castle age. Only missing 200 food, now 200 something food now to click app Kokesjokolade. Yeah, got some Minotaurs, they aren't even trying. They realize they run into a full wall here. And it's of course likely that KenE5000 has something more important to attend to at home as well. But there's that castle age clicks for Kokesjokolade, 28 population up. But absolutely justified with the richness of food there is on Yucatan. A defensive tower and some house walls behind there to keep the aggression out. So the tower protects the food source here, but not so much the gold. So if KenE5000 brings in the archers here, which seems to be the follow-up, then he's still free to... Oh, ouch. Oh, is he trying a trap? Nice, red. Oh, I like it. It didn't quite work out, but that's fine. The defensive tower is up, and that's going to provide some cover for most of the villagers, and maybe deal with some of the men-at-arms as well. But men-at-arms in the early village, such a strong opening. And this tower keeps aggression out from this angle. There's a tiny hole that's gonna be... Oh, it is a trap! There we go. Good job, Kokesjokolade. You trapped the men-at-arms. Oh, somebody's been watching Hero, I think. Nice. And no issue losing this gold just yet, because there's a gold patch in the back here for the red player, and that's one that KenE5000 doesn't have scouted. So some significant damage will have to be dealt now, and otherwise Kokesjokolade will be spamming out those knights and getting a good lead over the Celts player here, who also isn't fully walled, so the Magyar's knights, once they start producing, can just run straight into enemy base and wreak havoc. There aren't even any archers here to deny access to this gold, so I think Kokesjokolade is happy with the situation currently. No opening for the knight to run out though, which is kind of unfortunate. If you had a waypoint on this side, gather point, then you could send the knights right out without needing to break your wall or build a gate. Oh, that's funny. 3 geese in the back there that actually haven't been scouted 1 tile away. Yeah, sending the knights out, they have +2 being Magyars and +1 defense even, so that should be an easy kill. Looks like Kokesjokolade might need to delete another house or a piece of palisade here to move forward with the knights. But some patient playing here, waiting for a little bit more number before engaging. Okay, the first 3 knights are on the move. So there's 1 stable here. And unless you are Berbers with the cheaper cavalry, you typically need 6 villagers on gold to sustain 1 stable's consistent production of knights. If you have gold mining, it's okay with 5, I believe. But then again, you'd need gold for your blacksmith upgrades, right? So you'd usually want even a few more. Now let's have a look at Kokesjokolade here. KenE5000 just clicked Castle Age with a healthier population. Slightly less idle time here. And has the spearmen ready as well. So no archers made at all from Ken here, I think. Realizing they're lagging a tiny bit behind here. Alright, hitting the wood line. Spearmen aren't that threatening when your Magyars have +2 and about to get even that +2 armor as well. So important upgrades are important for sure, but with Magyars, I think in this situation you could afford waiting for the +2 defense. Of course, Kokesjokolade might have seen the range. No, actually hasn't seen the range, but if they knew about the range, then rushing +2 defense could be a proper call as well, because you really need that if the enemy is going for archers or ranged units overall. Chasing the spearman, dodging with the weak one as well. Nice. Yep. And yeah, going for some more villagers here. That's going to be the last of the knights, possibly running close to the town center. They still have that armor, and they're looking for another snipe, but won't quite make it there. Yeah, still great value from the raids. 6 villagers down for KenE5000 here, who just reached their castle age and may have some forward siege shenanigans planned here. Defensive siege, in fact. None on gold though, so how are you gonna make siege with 0 on gold? Does Ken have a market somewhere? Not really. Yeah, that's gonna be a small issue. So the raids have bought Kokesjokolade, the villager lead here. However, no eco upgrades whatsoever, so you could argue that the Celts player, he still has a more healthy economy behind this. He's doubling up on the pikes, knowing that more knights will be coming, not necessarily with a complement unit. We have a mangonel here, so Kokesjokolade is either afraid of the Celts siege rush or is wanting to pressure forward with the siege. Nice, okay. The issue of siege pushing Celts is that the Celts have faster firing siege, so their mangonels will fire more quickly against you. Thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Any new followers stopping by? Blind Pier. There, the name popped up. I'm on one screen today, so I'm basically watching chat on my mobile phone, so the names popping up lag a little bit behind my actual alerts. Ken getting some great trades here now, has massive amounts of pikes and is barely investing gold, so that frees up more gold for siege units here, among other things. Walls are almost completely in place as well, and here comes another town center to protect this very precious main gold. Kokesjokolade rewalling here as well, but needs a gate somewhere for the units to pop out as well. Scorpion addition, that's nice. That's going to be very helpful against massed infantry units. You could damage a lot of units in the same same attack here. Knights obviously can't engage, but with the Scorpion from behind, might be popping out here actually through the walls, and could be Kokesjokolade's plan. And the knights are outrunning the foot soldiers, as should be, realistically speaking. You'll note that KenE5000 has a more consistent military production behind this, both barracks working, so it's extending those military numbers, whereas Kokesjokolade isn't currently spending the resources here, so it's falling behind in numbers. But also adding the right kind of units here, the Scorpions, to deal with the actual aggression here. And if he weakens these pikemen enough, Ken clearly isn't watching here. So now, suddenly with all the pikes weakened, maybe even taken out by the Scorpions here, the Magyars, fully upgraded knights, could focus these down. You could actually take this fight now if you want to. Ken has fairly decent upgrades, but lacking the hit points to withstand the knights' hits here. So there might be a counter-attack in the working for Kokesjokolade here. This match seems a lot more even than the previous one on Arabia, so maybe Kokesjokolade will reconsider the home map after this. 48 to 46 villagers here. Yeah, eco setup seem decent for both. The resources are being spent after all. And yeah, mainly extending the economy here. 3 town centers now for the Magyars players. That, with consistent production, Kokesjokolade should be in a good spot to take an economic lead here. But Here comes KenE5000 with the pike and siege push. Already a pretty decent move against the Magyars, because when you have a mass of pikes in the mix, pikemen, then the enemy knights can't take out your siege as easily. Here comes Scorpions again. Let's see if Ken dodges this time around. Still more pikemen in the queue though from both barracks. Where's the other one? There it is. But nice army management from their red player here as well, so as to not run too close to the Scorpion's fire. So Kokesjokolade is trying to break through here. I don't think 2 Scorpions is enough to hold off this mass, especially not with the Mangonels joining in here. But you are keeping Ken at his tiptoes here, is extending the economy. Not panicking here, obviously, but there's also no room for counter-aggression for KenE5000 just yet. Alright, so it looks like the first forward of Kokesjokolade has been cleaned up, still facing larger numbers of the Celts player. So that's going to be an issue. Kokesjokolade needs their own mangonels, I'd say, to deal with this forward, and preferably outnumbering the Celts. Alternatively, get to the Imperial Age and get to a stronger army composition. Hey, Papaya Heat. First game was Arabia. Ken played Chinese, and Kokesjokolade played Bulgarians. That game ended fairly quickly. Yo, Mace AoE. Ooh, is this a forward castle? Oh, it is a forward castle. Oh, that's an in-your-face castle right there. And it's actually... Where's the siege? Is losing one Mangonel over here. Ken still has 4 left. There's 1 here. But the pikes are out of position. All of the Mangonels are forward. This is brilliant. If this castle goes up for Kokesjokolade, it's going to take Ken off a lot of gold here. But you'll need army to protect this. Love this new capture age. Yeah, the pro version is amazing. I can even rewind and fast forward as I cast if I need to check highlights. Alright, Knights, you could comfortably engage against this Mangonel for sure. Kokesjokolade bails on the forward castle, but wants to sneak it in somewhere else. Oh, where is it gonna go? It's gonna go here, maybe? Yeah, let's see what Ken's up to on the other side, pushing fairly nicely with lots of pikes and 3 Mangonels here. Remember, Celts Mangonels fire faster. And... yeah, they're gonna tear down buildings rather quickly. 1 stable D1 and only stable down for Kokesjokolade. Yes, sound Scandinavian, that is correct. I'm from Norway. Yeah, it's even the NO in my nickname. It's probably not obvious, but that's... Akkal was taken as a nickname as its own, so it became Akkal-No, as in Akkal Norway, kind of. I might switch it to Akkal-AOE at some point, but that feels like a change of identity as well. Unfortunately for Kokesjokolade, the castle doesn't go up in the frontier. It's a good initiative, but the power of Celt Siege, Celt Pikemen, and now walling in the castle foundation just to make sure it doesn't get completed by Kokesjokolade at a later point. Nice defensive castle at home though, so the stone investment pays off for Kokesjokolade, who could drop a market and sell some resources now to go to the Imperial Age, but there's no military to benefit from that, so maybe they'll need some more military first. Ah, never mind. There is the Imperial Age. And no market, so I guess that was queued behind something in one day. Town centers. KenE5000 has roughly the same eco KD as Kokesjokolade, but seems to have more consistent villager production from the town centers back home. All in all, twice the idle TC time for Kokesjokolade, putting them behind, but that Imperial Age transition opens up for some new possibilities for trebuchets or cavalier, even paladin if you can afford it. But looks like there's a transition into cavalry archers here, which is a good addition against especially the pikemen, I guess, but also to some extent against the mangonels if your micromanagement is on point. Then you could hit and run and split and whatever you need to do to take out these units. KenE5000 is going to the Imperial Age as well, though, and Celt Imperial Age, that is scary. We see more barracks going up here. That's going to become halberdiers, most likely. And if Ken has the food eco to sustain it, you could go into siege rams as well and have a siege ram and halberdier push against the Magyars, which is something Magyars will struggle a lot to handle. Their best answer to that is basically champions, and that's going to take a long way for Kokesjokolade to realize and take into. 4 town centers and soon to be 2 castles for Kokesjokolade though, so setting up for the long game here, massing up rather quickly on these cavalry archers, 2 more ranges going up as well, making good use of the excess golden wood here, as you always want to produce military and villagers until you are at 200 population. One option that the Magyars have in the game as well is to produce their unique unit. If you research the unique technology, you could make the Magyar Hussar from your castles without them costing the 10 gold they usually do. That's a good raiding unit with high attack and high speed, which could come in handy to switch up the economic favors here with KenE5000, almost 20 villagers ahead. Some raiding might be needed here. Looks like Halberdier is on the way, and this could be a tough push to stop from the Celts. Onager even on the way in here. I guess Ken has seen the ranges maybe and expecting a cavalry switch here. Not really. So that's either very good game sense or a bit of a luck to go into Onager here, since the cavalry's numbers might become scary soon enough. 23 of them so far, but 4 ranges consistently producing them here. A swift and mobile raiding unit, and Kokesjokolade also taking into most of the appropriate upgrades here as well. We'll need Bracer and preferably, there's Bracer as well, and then defense, but that's the last thing you get. You have range after all, so you don't need to worry as much about defense. So I get the Onager idea, but I don't love it either here from KenE5000, because there are castles here. Castles will wipe out Onagers with their range because they don't have that much hit points, only 60. So you'll need some rams here. There we go, capped ram in the making, and siege ram might be around the corner as well. You could garrison halberdiers inside the rams as well to boost the rams' speed moving forward. Yeah, now looking at the populations here, Kokesjokolade is massing up on units, but also getting housed here. KenE5000 now at complete population, and it's going to pressure from different angles by the looks of it. Going in here with the Celts, onagers. Don't think he has the unique technology yet for the Celts, the Furor Celtica for extra hit points on the siege. Is that it? But this TC is for sure gonna be eaten. This is Imperial H siege push right here. Down it goes. 1 TC less for Kokesjokolade, who rushes up a market to adjust the economy a bit here, floating quite a bit of wood here. But stopping Celts siege push in Imperial Age, easier said than done. It's going to take the micromanagement of a lifetime to micro down this with cavalry archers. But Kokesjokolade is going to give it a good shot here. Nice hit and run. And careful not doing your ship. Will eventually be losing the numbers here though. Exploiting the minimum range of the onagers. Nice, 2 onagers down. Not bad. 3 heavy cav archers doing some work here. But there are still 4 onagers to be dealt with, and there are siege trans in the back here, which the cavalry archers simply can't deal with. Nice uphill hit there from KenE5000, and getting even more cavalry archers. Ow, wow, 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 wow. It started out nicely for Kokesjokolade here, but now down to 11 military, and this has to be the GG moment. Even with so much resources in the bank. And no, Ken doesn't seem to have siege engineers tech tier, which gives the onager +1 range. That is a 2-0 for KenE5000. Ending it here, but well played Kokesjokolade as well. Didn't make it easy for Ken this game.